Hi friends, it's Sarah from rufflesandrainboots.com, and today I'm going to be making a beach gnome with flip-flop feet. Say that 10 times fast. Look at the cute little toes, and let's pretend I remembered to boop the nose. If you'd like to make them with me, just stick around. As always, please like this video so I know you're here crafting and it helps with this algorithm. So you can see front, side, center, bottom, and it looks like it's a little gnome just hanging out on the beach. So I'm going to be using some paint and a pre-made pom-pom here from Amazon. I'll put the link below. I'm going to be building my gnome using 14 gauge wire. If you don't have it, you can use a 1/4 inch dowel, and you can even use a reinforced flexible foam Dollar Tree hair roller as a little leg base. So I'm going to show you how I made some sunglasses from felt, but I'm going to start by just telling you I love these little feet. They produce a pretty small gnome. They are 3D printed. You can see the flip-flop without the flower and the flip-flop with it. I have both, but I have another idea for the one without the flower. So these little pom-pom gnomes are something I'm doing all of this year. I think they're just too sweet, too cute, and really easy to put together. So I'm going to get started by just using a white acrylic paint. You can use white acrylic, white gesso, or white chalk paint. And the reason we're doing that is anything that isn't beige, we want that color to really pop. And the 3D filament, it seems like it sucks up the paint. So I'm going to do 2 coats of white paint on the flower, the flip-flop straps, the midsole, and the footbed. I'm also going to create little toenails that I can paint, and I want them to match the flower. So I'm just going to run through a single coat, quick light coat, and then I'm going to dry that with the heat gun and then do a second coat. So here's the cool part about this. The 3D printing is very textured, but it's really easy to clean the paint off of with just a little water. So I'll show you in just a second. I make a big mistake and then have to do that. All right, so I'm going to paint the feet and the leg. So I don't know if everybody's going to do this or they're going to leave it as the orangey color, but I sort of wanted a snowbird going from New York down to Florida for the winter because it's so cold here still. And that's what it made me think of. You see the difference, the really pale beige versus the tan. So you do you, but that's what I did. And I also painted a 3/4 inch round wood ball for my nose, but you can use clay, you can use anything you want. I just painted it that same beige color. For my flower, I'm going to hit it with a bright pink. I did the top of the flower and the underside sides. Really easy, really quick. This part, I just popped on an Audible book. You know me and Audible. I can't watch TV while I'm crafting because I'll lose a digit. But I can listen to Audible books. So just pop that on and enjoy a nice little funny Audible book. I painted the midsole, the footbed, and the straps with this teal blue because pink, blue, and yellow, they just remind me of Florida. So because I got the teal just a little bit too far there, I just use a little water, clean it up. It's super quick and easy. All right, so I'm going to finish that up. That also got 2 coats, became very, very vibrant, and it's really pretty on the shelf. Just in natural light. All right, so I'm going to clean up my teal that I got on the bottom of the feet just by putting a little beige on top of it and hitting that with a heat gun, or hair dryer. Wow, Sarah. I painted the inside of the flower yellow and dried that as well. This is optional. You don't have to do this, but every time somebody picks up a gnome, they are looking every which way at it, including the bottom. So I took the same teal paint and painted 2 coats on the bottom of the flip-flops. And then I used my favorite varnish, which is Liquitex gloss. I'm going to give you a tip about varnish, whether you're using Mod Podge or you're using any kind of, premium varnish. Always put it in a separate container and always do a couple light coats. It helps to avoid any pooling, especially like Mod Podge or some thick varnishes will look like a cloudy substance. You can see brush strokes, but if you do light coats and then dry them in between, you can't even tell that they've been sealed. But I didn't know how the paint would do on the 3D printed pieces long term, so I'm definitely going to be using a varnish on these. I also varnished the little wood ball nose so everything was the same level of shiny. All right, so here's the cool part. Let's assemble. As I mentioned, you can use the wood dowels or the foam rollers, but here's how you get started. Grab that little hanger from the pre-made pom-pom and bang it just on the desk. Look how floofy it becomes. We're going to set it aside and then get your pliers and a foot. We're going to friction fit into these because that is all you need. You don't need glue, you don't need anything. So if you don't have 14 gauge or higher, or which would be wider, like bigger wire, using something else that you're going to glue in is a great option. So you can see I'm going to bend it into a V shape and then friction fit it right in the base of that footbed. Super easy, super simple. Now, if I yank on it hard, I can pull them out. Otherwise, it's solid. All right, so I just put the pom-pom up against the top of the foot to get a rough idea of how tall I want my leg, keeping in mind we're going to be turning down that top inch or so. I did the same thing with the other one before I cut the height, and that way it just gave me a good starting point. I don't have to measure anything. It's just basically based on the size of my pom-pom. All right, so now we're going to actually set that aside for a second before we bend down our legs. So just walk them over there. There's Sarah. There you go. All right, so now where the little hanger is, we're actually going to cut that apart. Can you stick the legs through the little holes? Yes, you can. Does it evenly distribute? No, it doesn't. I've tried it a couple of times now. I just think this is the better option. So you find where the little hanger is, and you can feel where the two edges of the pom-pom fabric come together. Just pull it apart. One little slit of the craft knife, and it was perfect. So we're going to have to turn down the top of the wire so it doesn't poke through. And then you're just going to do that by, again, eyeball measuring how long you want your legs. So I'm going to grab right where I want the height of my leg to be, and then I'm just going to bend down the wire. I'm going to do the other one to match, and then I'm going to press the wire in so it doesn't catch on anything, just like that. Now, I will say, I figured this out after a while, which I edited out, and that is, you're going to see how I put the little wires sort of back against that back edge. Do that. That way you're going to be able to position the legs any way you want, and it will always hit the back of the pom-pom. Okay, so as you can see, you're just clamshelling the pom-pom. Take a little bit of that fluff out, and you're going to be gluing that looped wire directly to the back side of that fabric. Okay, so just the inside. Now, here's the tip. Don't press the fabric together, or don't press it on, because you can actually push the hot glue right through that fabric backing and into the fur, and then you have a bit of a gloopy mess. Gloppy. I don't know what the right word is. I don't even know if either of those are words. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat the same thing. On this one, I had to hold it in place because it kept wanting to fall over. Falling down on the job, that leg. Okay, now here's the fun part. I'm taking out additional little floof in the front, and I'm going to only glue probably a 1/4 inch away from the edge, and I'm going to sandwich the whole thing. And you might say, Sarah, but that's going to leave points at the side. First of all, you are correct. But also we're going to fix it. Before we fix the sides, we are actually going to now join these two pieces at the bottom using a very thin line of hot glue, making sure it doesn't seep out, and it's quick and easy. So this is real time. I'm not speeding this up. All right, so now on the sides, you just see where those two pieces of fabric meet, and you're going to put glue in the channel, and then you're going to fold the two edges in, and it disappears. That join completely, you can't see it anymore. Just make sure you just kind of tuck it in. On this one, I didn't go on high enough with my glue, and you'll see I have a little piece hanging out ready, and so I just push that right in. He's all better now. Or she's all better now, I should say. So I have already packed up all my Cricut machines. Yep, 1, 2, and 3 are all packed up. So I hand cut 2 sunglass shapes. I then cut out the lenses in black, and I cut out the lens portion of one of them and then just glued them on top of each other. And you might say, but Sarah, I didn't see sunglasses. I know. And the reason is because I really didn't like, I really didn't like how they looked. Sorry, I'm at a park recording this, and that was just a really loud car going by. Okay, so as always, we're going to split the fur to the fabric backing, add a generous portion of hot glue, and pop on our little gnome nose. You can add a hat. I'm going to show you how to make a cute little fedora later, but let me know down in the comments, what do you think about this summer gnome? I'll also put the links to the feet below, and as always, thank you. Thank you for being here. Please like, please share, and subscribe for more crafty fun.